dear. Hello? Is it working now? Can you hear the sound? Let me know if you can hear it or not, because for the last 10 minutes we've had no sound. So I've just taken out all my stitches and we're going to try again. Sound? Yeah? Yes! Okay. Okay. Are we good? Yeah, sound? Everything's okay? Yes! Okay, good. I've just turned off like everything in the house that uses internet, hoping that maybe it would help. Okay, I'm gonna do the whole thing again. So sorry, just to make sure that everybody gets it. So what we're gonna do is kind of like a fishbone type stitch. But normally with it, you start from the very top and you kind of cross and cross and cross and cross. But for this one, we're going to start much lower. So go ahead and make a little line. There I am. I'm back. Oh, not gonna lie, I was sweating there for a little bit. I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So we're just going to make a little line right here. And the first couple stitches will be just 3 straight stitches all through the same hole. So I'm just going to do them again for you. So you'll come up at the top with a knot, hopefully. I forgot that I cut mine out. Sorry, you guys. Okay. And then there we are. And then I'm going to put it up. There we go. All right. So we're going to go down here. And you're going to go one side, then the other side, every other stitch. So before, I would kind of do one side completely, like the whole side of this one, and then the whole side of this one. But for this stitch, we're going to do one stitch on this side, then one stitch on this side, every other one. So for the first ones, you're going to go right in the same hole that you did the first. Get those good thready noises. So good. Now for every other stitch, you're going to make a new hole, but it's going to be on the other side to which you went up. So we'll come up on this side. We'll go down on this side of the line. Then we'll come up on this side and we'll go down on this side of the line. So from now on, we're not going to have any stitches that fall on this line except the very, very last ones. Okay? So we'll come up on this side and then we'll make, get out of here, right on this side of the line. Yeah? Then we'll come up on this side and then come down on this side of the line. Yeah, and that's going to make a little kind of crisscrossing fishbone type pattern. So again, up on this side, down on this side. So some people actually will make, hi George, kind of 3 lines, if you know what I mean. So they'll make one here and one here as well, so that they know to kind of stay in line. But you really don't have to do it. And actually I might change my thread to a lighter color so that you can see it a little bit better. I thought this one would be okay, but I can tell it's too dark for you to see. Actually, when my hand is there, it makes it a little bit lighter. So we're just going to keep on crossing over and over and over. Until you get all the way close to the bottom. All 6 strands, yes. And try to keep crossing until you get all the way down at the bottom. And then the very last 2, you'll go straight down. So there's 1 straight down, and here's another 1 straight down. Yeah? Can you tell that there's a little, they kind of overlap each other and they make that kind of almost like a braid or a plate, maybe? So now we just move to the other one. And for this one, just so I can save the thread a little bit, I'm gonna start here and go straight up. These 3 stitches, the one I've just done, this one and the next one, they can all go through the same hole. So this is just how I'm doing this one stitch for this leaf, because the tops of the leaves are curved, they're not straight. So if they were more pointy, like these ones even, you could start the fishbone straight from the top with 1 little straight stitch and then cross. But because these are a little bit more curved on the top, I do the 3 long stitches all in the same hole to kind of fill up that space. So this next one will go on the other side of that line. And then you go up on the other side, yeah? And like some people will do the whole length of the leaf. So some people will make this stitch go from here all the way over to this side. You can if you want to, but I've never had a problem with just making a line down the middle and then putting these stitches on either side. Where did I just go? No music today, so sorry about that. And all you're really doing is just crossing your threads over and over and over, and they make that nice pattern like that. So what I was saying before you couldn't hear me in the very first video is that the longer that you make that line, the more high here, that's how far they will be crossing. So Helen's just said, how do you know how long to make the line? It's just personal preference. If you want to make it the whole length, you can make it the whole length of your leaf. Just for these ones, I had more space at the top because they're round. So that's why I did a couple straight stitches to kind of start it out and to make it look a bit more full. And that just happened to be how I made the pattern. You can make the line even shorter if you want. If you don't want to have that braid effect in the middle, you just kind of want them to be overlapping at the bottom. So in the sample, it's just at the very tip that they're overlapping, especially on these ones. Can you see? It's only a little bit of them. And then kind of the higher you get, the less crosses that you'll make, and they kind of all look like they go through the same point. But really, it's just up to you. It's just however you feel. And actually, for these, I've made the line a little bit higher than on those. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So all I'm going to do is make some straight stitches for the stem. So I'll do a small one. You don't have to do a small one if you don't want to, but I quite like having a little stem at the bottom on these. And then we'll do one long stitch all the way down, just a back stitch. And then from here, you can start whatever comes next, yeah? So you can make your line go all the way from the top. Shall I do one like that? Let me, it'll make mine 2 colors, but that's all right. I'll do one. Let's see if we can see this color a little bit better. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay. I'm on it, guys. We'll do one petal with making the line all the way to the top, and then you can kind of see how that looks as well. And there's a couple different ways to do it. Like I said, some people, they don't go to the tip every single time. So I like to go from here down, here, down, here, down. Some people will go from here down, then over, up, then over, down, over, up, to make their own little pattern of how they fill in the stitches, if that makes any sense at all. And maybe I can show that too. Okay, so if we made one all the way, like this, yeah? Let me just tighten that. Okay, you still will have to make one tiny stitch in the top, because otherwise there's nothing for you to kind of go over, you know? So we'll do the one tiny little stitch. So from here on, you're gonna do all your stitches one by one, just like we did before, but they're always gonna go over. So for these ones, we had more space to fill in, so we did a couple straight stitches all through the same hole. For these, we won't do it that way. Again, I'm just showing so that people can see. You do not have to do it like this. Carry on doing it this way if that's how you feel. The other thing to kind of watch is like the angle of your stitches. Sorry. The angle of your stitches, because you don't want one to be kind of way severely down and the other side to be a little bit higher or lower. You kind of want them to be the same angle on both sides. So if you do have to put lines that kind of go down on each side with your pen, you can do that. Or with your pencil. I'm just trying to think of ways to like make it easier for you to remember. I don't think that's gonna help any. Maybe it did. There was like blazing sun a minute ago, and now it's gone away. So let me know if you have any questions so far. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking. And you can tell that the Helen said, I've tried this stitch the way you're doing it now and found it much more difficult. More difficult than doing it this way. Did you find an easy trick or like a hack to do it a different way? Ooh, you should like do a little video or tell us, tag us. She says the longer first stitch is better. So this way, you mean? Doing it like this. I feel like this way, you kind of have to have a very symmetrical leaf. I almost said flower, but leaf. So they kind of have to be the same on each side. And the stitches kind of have to be almost the same length each time. I find that that's... Thanks, Jessie. She's got an itchy ear. So I'm almost at the end, so I can start making them go just a little bit overlapped. And then they will, the last two stitches I can put in the same hole just like we did before. So it'll be this one. Oh, you stayed up for it. And that one. Yeah, so there's kind of the difference. You can see it better with the lighter color thread, I know. So those are the two different kinds that you can do. Maybe I'll do one more with the lighter thread on this side. With just a little one. So obviously the shorter your line, the more stitches that you'll need at the top, because there's a lot more space to do. So let's see a shorter one. So if you're just tuning in now and you feel like, oh my God, you've shown me so many different ways to do this, how am I going to try? How do I know which way is the right way? Any way that you feel like. So if you like the look of this one, try that one. If you like the look of this one, this first one that I did, try that one, which is this one I'm doing now, just doing it again. Yeah, there's no real right or wrong way to do it. If you find a different way that you feel like has the same look, but you do it a little bit differently, do it. Do it. So because this one has a shorter line here I made and a bigger space at the top, I'm gonna do 5 lines, the first 3 all in the same hole, and then these 2 both in the same hole. Yeah, and then I will cross. So now we'll come over here. Come on, Tori. And then go on this side of the line. And over here to the other side. There are so many different ways that you can do these leaves. And there's so many people who found little hacks or little shortcuts or sidetracks or whatever you want to call them to make it go a little bit better, to have like a better time, to be able to do it better. It's easier for them. Maybe it works for the way that they work better. Meaning some people, they have to do it in a pattern. So any kind of freestyle type stitch, they don't like, because they don't like that it doesn't have a pattern. So as I said, the higher that you get, the smaller the line's going to be. And you're not going to need to do a, you might not even need to do a line at all, actually. This is looking like an ombre type leaf. So I think I'm going to make the tip an even lighter color, and then it will look like I did this intentionally and not like I was just doing it to teach you. Hi. I'll say it again. For those of you who have just joined, I've just shown a couple different ways to do these stitches for this leaf. It's kind of a modified fishbone. So I showed the way that I did it in the sample, and then I showed the actual way to do a fishbone that you would normally do. And then I just showed it again with the lighter thread because the darker thread in the video don't get on. So yeah, you can tell there's a little bit of overlapping, but not so much, and that's just because the leaf is smaller. It's not because you've done it wrong or anything like that. Sorry for drinking noises. I know some people really hate that. Okay, any other questions about this or the stitch along in general or stitching in general or anything? Anything you're just dying to know? Okay, I totally cannot help myself, so I'm going to do a lighter color at the top. I did not mean for it to, I did not mean for it to turn out like this. It just happened to. I will say, one of my favorite things about doing like a proper fishbone stitch is the back. How pretty is that? I love that. I think it looks so nice. So I'm just gonna get an even lighter color, and I'll do a lighter color at the very top. Again, in the sample, was it meant to be like this at all? It's just happened. So actually it was meant to be all one color. You can choose however you want, however you feel like. Just making a knot. Come on. No other questions about anything? I hope that you're loving the stitch along. Helen says, I think this stitch is very effective. Sorry, so effective. Looks very professional. I also quite like it. It gives a bit of texture to your piece as well. That's not just flat. So like these ones look nice. But they are just a bit, they can look a bit flat sometimes if you don't have a lot of colors or do them. Carolyn says, yes, I'm loving the stitch along. So much fun. I'm so glad. Okay, and then for the last one, I might just make them all go through the same hole. So almost finished for today. I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties earlier with no sound. I'm really sorry about that. I have no idea why it didn't work. I tried with my stories, and my stories all seem to have sound. So I don't know what it was. I don't know what the deal was, but I decided no music today just because I thought maybe that was like stealing my internet, making it not work or something, you know? So there we have it. I hope it doesn't look too out of place now that I've done like a little ombre type leaf. That's what we have so far. I obviously have not finished this one. I've been too busy stitching orders. Ooh. So that's kind of a bummer. But, yeah, I hope you like this little stitch. Again, it's like a fishbone or a modified fishbone stitch, and we've done it a couple different ways, a couple different colors, so hopefully you'll be able to see what it looks like. All right, well, that's it from me. Thank you. And I will see you tomorrow with flowers. Easy peasy flowers tomorrow. Yes. So she said just a few minutes too late, and you were literally just 30 minutes too late because I tried 3 times earlier today. There was no sound on the video, so it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, go back and watch it when you're all done, and then tell me what you think. What's your favorite version, not virgin, okay? What's your favorite version of the stitch? And I will talk with you later. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye.